Hi, my Scaredy Cats. My name is Kay from Scaredy Cat Gaming, and we are in a game called Calenture. Calenture? I don't really know how to pronounce it, but this is it's a prototype, is what the page said. Sorry, and it's about being trapped with 4 strangers on a lifeboat in the middle of the Atlantic, and your food is running low, and someone has to be the next to swim. You are faced with decisions that may result in death of one person on board. So, I thought this would be cool to play like a survival game, and I loaded this up, and I saw this, and I loved the way that this looks. It's just the color, because a lot of you may know that I love teal. Teal is like one of my favorite colors of all time. So, yeah, let's get started. Okay, day 1. Food request. Irene asks you for some food. Irene, you have 10 food. Is there a counter that shows me how much food I have? I'll give Irene some food. You give Irene, Torlich consumes it with a thankful smile. Food discovery. Can of ravioli floats by. Irene picks it up. Ask Irene to share it equally with everyone. Why not? Have a bit, everyone. Oh, Irene, you are so sweet. This one. Oh, this one's me. This one's me. Okay, I have 0 food now. I did not know that. Okay. Arthur asks Florence for some food. Florence refuses to give food to Arthur. Irene talks about basket for hours. Arthur says basket is really dumb. Basket is great. I like Irene. Arthur kinda seems a little bit sketchy. Irene asks Edward for some food. Wait for the response. Edward refuses to give food to Irene. A can of ravioli flows by. Irene picks it up. Ask Irene to share it equally. Why not? Have a bit, everyone. That's nice. Arthur talks about history for hours. Florence says history is really dumb. I love history, so history is my favorite thing. Well, not really my favorite. A soggy loaf of bread floats by. Arthur picks it up. Ask Arthur to share it equally. Why not? Have a bit, everyone. Aw, Arthur, that was nice. Edward asks you for some food. Sorry, I don't have any. A soggy loaf of bread floats by. Arthur picks it up. Ask Arthur to share it equally. Why not? Aw, Arthur. A bottle of water floats by. Arthur picks it up. Ask Arthur to share it equally. Why not? Aw, Arthur. A can of ravioli puts up. You pick it up. I pick it up. Let's look at their hunger. I don't have any food. I'll share it equally with everybody. Here you go. Have a bit, everyone. Arthur asks Irene for some food. Wait for the response. Irene gives food to Arthur. That was nice. Edward asks Irene for some food. Wait for the response. Irene gives food to Edward. Irene asks Florence for some food. Wait for the response. Florence gives food to Irene. Irene asks you for some food. Sorry, I don't have any. Arthur talks about math for hours. Florence says math is dumb. I'm gonna agree with Arthur. I'm kind of being friends with him. I don't want to like mess that up. Florence asks you for some food. I don't have any. Oh, sorry then. Florence asks Arthur for some food. Wait for the response. Arthur refuses to give food to Florence. I'll be right back. Arthur talks about philosophy for hours. Edward says philosophy is really dumb. I'm gonna agree with Arthur. Sorry. A soggy loaf of bread floats by. You pick it up. Take it yourself. You take a soggy loaf of bread yourself. Arthur asks Irene for some food. Wait for the response. Irene gives food to Arthur. Florence asks Arthur for food. Florence, no. Irene gives food to Arthur. What? A can of ravioli floats by. Edward picks it up. Ask Edward to share it equally. No, I found it. It's mine. Edward asks Florence for some food. Florence gives food to Edward. Ask him to share it equally. Why not? Have a bit, everyone. Florence asks Arthur for some food. Okay, I was wondering what that was for. Florence asks Arthur for some food. It's day 10. Arthur refuses to give food to Florence. I would too. She's a fucking bitch. Edward talks about history for hours. Irene says history is really dumb. I'm gonna agree with Irene because she's my friend. Irene talks about football for hours. Edward says football is dumb. I'm gonna agree with Irene. Edward asks Irene for some food. Wait for the response. Irene gives food to Edward. A soggy loaf of bread floats by. Irene picks it up. Ask Irene to share it equally. Why not? Have a bit, everyone. Irene asks you for some food. I don't have any. Oh, sorry then. Arthur talks about math for hours. Florence says math is really dumb. I'm going to agree with Arthur because I don't like Florence. Arthur smiles with approval. A can of ravioli floats by. Arthur picks it up. Ask Arthur to share it equally. Why not? Florence asks Edward for food. I feel like they're going to deny. Edward gives food to Florence. No. Arthur talks about hockey for hours. Irene says hockey is really dumb. Oh god, no. Both my friends. Go away, person. I don't care. Dear God, go away. I don't care. Arthur talks about hockey for hours. Irene says hockey is really dumb. See, I'm not a big fan of hockey, so I'm going to agree with Irene. Arthur asks Irene for some food. Irene smiles with approval and Arthur mutters bitterly. Florence asks Irene for food. Don't give her food. Irene talks about politics for hours. Politics is great. Irene talks about golf for hours. Florence says golf is really dumb. Agree with Irene. Golf is great. Edward asks Arthur for some food. Arthur refuses to give food to Edward. Arthur talks about basket for hours. I'll agree with Arthur. Arthur asks Irene for some food. Let's not ask each other to have a lot of food. Irene asks you for some food. I don't have any! I don't have any. Edward asks Irene for some food. Wait for the response. Irene gives food to Edward. Florence asks Edward for some food. Edward refuses to give food to Florence. I would too. Florence talks about football for hours. Arthur says football is really dumb. I'm going to agree with Arthur. Arthur asks Irene for some food. Irene doesn't really have a lot of food. Arthur smiles with approval. Edward asks Florence for some food. Florence refuses to give food to Edward. A bottle of water floats by and Florence picks it up. Ask Florence to give it to you. No, I found it. It's mine. Irene talks about hockey for hours. Arthur says hockey's dumb. I'm going to agree with Irene. Florence talks about basket for hours. Arthur says basket's really dumb. I'm going to agree with Arthur. Edward asked Florence for food. Why don't I get a chance to ask people for food? I mean, that's kind of something that I'd like to know. Like, I've never gotten a turn to ask anybody for food, but people get to ask me for food? That's kind of dumb. Edward asks Florence for food. Nah, you two can starve. Edward talks about children for hours. Arthur says children is really dumb. I don't agree with the subject, but I'm going to agree with Arthur. A soggy loaf of bread floats by. Edward picks it up. Ask Edward to share it equally. No, I found it. It's mine. Florence asks you for some food. Sorry, I don't have any. Irene asks Florence for food. Sorry, I have no food to give. Arthur asks Irene for food. No, you have to. You're fine. Sorry, I have no food to give. Arthur asks you for food. Sorry, I don't have any. A bottle of water floats by. Irene picks it up. Ask Irene to share it equally. No, I found it. It's mine. A bottle of water floats by. Edward picks it up. Ask Edward to share it. No, I found it. It's mine. Irene asks Arthur for food. Arthur refuses to give food to Irene. Arthur asks Irene for some food. Sorry, I have no food to give. Arthur asks Florence for some food. Sorry, I have no food to give. Edward talks about rock music for hours. Irene says rock music is really dumb. Agree with Irene. A bottle of water floats by and you pick it up. Share it equally with everyone. Here you go. Have a bed, everyone. Florence talks about politics. Irene says politics is really dumb. Agree with Irene. Arthur picks it up. Ask Arthur to share it equally. No, I found it. It's mine. Florence talks about hockey for hours. Irene says hockey. I agree with Irene. Irene asks Arthur for some fruit. Sorry, I have no food to give. A can of ravioli floats by. Edward picks it up. Ask Edward to share it equally. No, I found it. It's mine. Oh, my bad. Arthur asks Florence for some food. I have no food. Arthur talks about hockey for hours. Agree with Arthur. Can of ravioli walks by. Edward picks it up. Asks her to share it. No. Can of ravioli goes by. You share it equally. Here you go. Have a bit, everyone. Edward asks you for some food. Arthur asked Edward for some food. Nobody has food. Irene asks for food. Florence talks about football for hours. Irene says football is really dumb. Agree with Irene. Florence talks about hockey. Agree with Irene. Edward picks it up. Asks Edward to share it. No, I found it. It's mine. Edward talks about politics for hours. Agree with Irene. McKenna ravioli asks her to share. Irene asks you for some food. Sorry, don't have any. A soggy loaf of bread floats by. Edward picks it up. Asks to share it. Now I found it. It's mine. So this just goes on forever until... Oh. I think Florence died. I think I died too. I think Edward died too. Edward talks about politics for hours, but Edward's gone. Florence asks Irene for some food. Florence talks about hockey for hours. Edward says hockey's really dumb. Arthur asks you for food. I don't have any. Oh, sorry then. Irene talks about hockey for hours. Florence, agree with Irene. A bottle of water floats by. Ask him to share it. No, I found it. It's mine. Edward asks you for some food. Sorry, I don't fucking have any. For the 7 millionth time, nobody has food, Edward. Something floats by. You can't ravioli. You pick it up. Share it equally with everyone. Here you go. Have a bit, everyone. Everybody is gone. The raft is just by itself. Alright, so I'm actually going to end this here because I think we all died. I don't know. I mean, we all disappeared from the screen, so. We all have -1 hunger. I think we ate each other. So I'm going to end this episode here. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'll put the links in the description below. Until next time, my scaredy cats. Bye-bye!